dive into the historical whirlwind that birthed two nations and a rivalry that resonates to this day. The year 1947 marked not just the end of British colonial rule in India, but also the genesis of two distinct states, India and Pakistan. This monumental shift came to be known as the partition, a term that barely encapsulates the profound and often painful transformations that ensued. In the wake of this decision, there unfolded one of the largest mass migrations the world has ever witnessed. Approximately 15 million people crossed borders, a movement accompanied by unprecedented communal violence. Hindus and Sikhs moved towards the newly formed India, while Muslims headed in the opposite direction to Pakistan. The scars of these violent exchanges and the displacement they caused have left indelible marks on the psyche and politics of both nations. These initial tumults set the stage for decades of conflict and competition. From wars to political strife, the roots can invariably be traced back to the chaotic weeks and months following the partition. From the ashes of British India rose two countries, forever intertwined in a complex ballet of politics, culture, and conflict. The ink had barely dried on the partition documents before the first of many conflicts ignited. As the new nations of India and Pakistan emerged from the shadow of British rule, their borders were not just lines on a map, but flashpoints of intense rivalry. The first confrontation came swiftly in 1947, known as the First Kashmir War. It began mere months after independence, when tribal fighters from Pakistan attempted to seize control of the princely state of Kashmir, leading to India's military intervention. The conflict ended with a United Nations-mandated ceasefire, leaving the region divided and planting the seeds for enduring strife. Moving forward to 1965, the second major conflict erupted over similar issues. Misunderstandings and aggressive policies escalated into a full-scale war, with both nations experiencing significant military engagements along their shared border. The Tashkent Agreement, brokered by the Soviet Union and the USA, eventually brought a tenuous peace, but again without resolving the underlying issues. The situation reached a new zenith in 1971 during the Bangladesh Liberation War. Initially a civil conflict within Pakistan, it swiftly transformed into another Indo-Pak confrontation when India intervened in support of the East Pakistani forces. This war resulted in the creation of Bangladesh and a significant military and moral defeat for Pakistan. The history of these conflicts would remain incomplete without mentioning the Kargil conflict in 1999. This skirmish in the icy terrains of Kashmir was sparked by Pakistani forces occupying strategic peaks. It ended with India regaining territory, but like its predecessors, it did not bring the two nations any closer to a lasting peace. Each of these wars, while distinct in their occurrences and immediate triggers, were deeply rooted in the political and territorial disputes that began with partition, particularly the contentious issue of Kashmir. Each clash left deep scars and unresolved issues, paving the way for a fraught relationship. On the cricket field, every ball and every run is loaded with historical significance. When Pakistan and India face off, the stadium buzzes with more than just the excitement of sports. It becomes a battleground of national identities forged from a shared yet divided history. This rivalry isn't just about cricket. It's a continuation of a conversation that began in 1947. Expressed not through words but through the crack of a bat and the cheer of the crowds. The matches are a spectacle where every six hit and every wicket taken carries the echoes of past conflicts and the aspirations of two nations striving to outdo the other. In countries where cricket is almost a religion, these matches draw viewers by the millions. Homes, tea stalls, public squares, everywhere, people gather, holding their breath with every pitch and swing. The intensity is palpable, as if the outcome of a game could redraw national boundaries or heal old wounds. These encounters do more than entertain. They bring to the forefront issues like nationalism and cross-border tensions. Media coverage often amplifies this, with headlines that frame these matches as clashes of titans, where heroes and villains are not just players, but entire nations. Yet, amidst this charged atmosphere, cricket also offers moments of sportsmanship and respect. Players shaking hands, exchanging jerseys, and sometimes sharing laughs. These gestures serve as poignant reminders that beyond the competitive fervor, sportsmanship can pave the way towards mutual respect and understanding. In this unique arena, cricket is more than sport. It's a proxy for national honor and historical grievances. Cinema, music, and literature offer a mirror to the shared history and divergent paths of these two nations. In the world of film, Bollywood and Lollywood have often portrayed the nuanced narratives of partition, each from their own lenses. Indian cinema, with its global reach, has produced films that showcase the pain and the resilience of those affected by the division. Pakistani films, although fewer in number, provide a poignant perspective on the same events, reflecting a unique cultural insight that speaks to the heart of its people. Musically, the influences are deeply entwined. The classical music traditions of the subcontinent, such as ghazal and qawwali, continue to resonate across both borders, often invoking a sense of nostalgia and shared heritage. Modern music too sees cross-border influences that challenge the political discord, with artists from both countries collaborating to create melodies that harmonize rather than divide. Literature, the most reflective of the cultural mediums, offers profound insights into the human aspect of this rivalry. Writers from both nations have penned powerful narratives that explore the complexities of identity, loss, and reconciliation. The works of authors like Saadat Hasan Manto and Khushwant Singh in India and Bapsi Sidhwa in Pakistan have been instrumental in providing a literary bridge that connects the emotional landscapes of these two nations. Though divided by borders and conflicts, the cultural ties that bind India and Pakistan are indelible. Today, the chessboard of Indo-Pak relations is as active as ever, with each move scrutinized for deeper meaning. In the intricate tapestry of South Asian geopolitics, the relationship between Pakistan and India continues to be a focal point of regional and international attention. The border remains tense, with skirmishes frequently reported in the disputed Kashmir region. These clashes not only reignite long-standing territorial disputes, but also serve as a reminder of the fragile ceasefire that barely contains the hostility. Diplomacy too dances a delicate ballet marked by sporadic highs and frequent lows. High-level talks often start with a promise of thawing ice but seem just as quickly derailed by new or unresolved grievances. The specter of nuclear capabilities looms large, making each diplomatic engagement between Islamabad and New Delhi critically important, yet fraught with caution. On the international stage, global powers play a significant role in shaping the dynamics between the two nations. The United States, China, and Russia, among others, have vested interests in the stability of the region. These countries frequently act as mediators, yet their involvement is often seen through the prism of their strategic interests in Asia. This external influence adds another layer of complexity to the already convoluted relations between Pakistan and India. Internally, politics within both countries also significantly impact their bilateral interactions. Nationalist sentiments often drive policy decisions, with leaders on both sides using hardline stances to garner domestic support. This internal political posturing can sometimes exacerbate tensions, making peaceful negotiations even more challenging. Despite these challenges, there is a shared history and cultural connection that cannot be entirely overlooked. This commonality suggests that cooperation isn't just possible, it is inherently necessary. Yet the road to peace is cluttered with political obstacles and historical wounds that need careful and considerate addressing. In this ongoing game of strategic interests, peace remains an elusive, though coveted prize. Amidst the tumult of politics and war drums, there are voices that sing a different tune. In the bustling streets of Lahore and the colorful markets of Delhi, ordinary people are weaving threads of friendship and understanding, often one interaction at a time. Cultural festivals that celebrate both Pakistani and Indian heritages draw crowds who revel not just in the differences, but in the striking similarities of their shared history. Art, too, serves as a bridge. Collaborative exhibitions featuring artists from both nations have become vibrant venues for dialogue, showcasing how creativity transcends borders. Meanwhile, in the digital world, social media platforms buzz with initiatives like virtual meetups and joint podcasts that discuss everything from food to poetry, further shrinking the distances. On a more grassroots level, NGOs on both sides work tirelessly, facilitating dialogues and educational exchanges that aim to nurture a future generation educated in peace rather than conflict. These beacons of hope light a path that, if taken, could lead to a new era of cooperation and peace. As our journey through this complex rivalry concludes, we ponder on what the future holds. The path forward for Pakistan and India is not etched in the stones of the past, but woven in the potential threads of dialogue and understanding. Imagine a scenario where shared goals overshadow historical grievances, where cooperation thrives over conflict, As both nations stand at the crossroads of history, the choices made today will shape the landscapes of tomorrow. In the end, the future of these two nations may well depend on their ability to rewrite a narrative steeped in conflict into one of reconciliation and collaboration.